So I do have problems with this shift lever. Sometimes after I pull it out of drive, yeah, see, I put it in park and it sticks into neutral instead. So I have to push the car forward in order for that to click into park. So what that says is the shift cable is out of sync. And if you don't correct that, which I obviously didn't, it could potentially fry out your neutral safety switch. So that's the first component that I'm going to aim for. So let's get into it. Right, since mine's a roller right now and I can't start it to get it on ramps, I'm going to take this jack and do it the hard way and put it on ramps manually. Got her set on the iron. We're going to crank her up. Use jack stands too, but I figured just use the ramps, why not? So assuming everyone out there knows how to take 13 10mm bolts off, we're just gonna skip taking the pan off. The shift clamp is here. We're gonna pull this shift lever off. It just pops off like that. And now I can't really get an angle for the camera, but it's buried up in there and there is a clamp up there. If it is seized, just spray it and then tap it with the hammer upward and it should come right off. It is unfortunate that the neutral safety switch does lie within the transmission itself, but it is what it is. So we're going to take this valve body off next and make sure you shift your transmission into neutral before you pop your shift lever off, because if you don't, you'll be completely unable to get your valve body out. So I popped it in neutral already. It's a 13mm hex bolt for your shift clamp. Kind of push up and it pops out just like that. Safety tab. Off comes your little next pop out, your wiring harness on your passenger side for the shift solenoid. Right now, to get our fluid filter off, this is a T25 Torx. And off pops your filter. Now at this step, to drop your valve body, remove all 16 10mm bolts. Right after you get all your bolts out, you kind of just shimmy this back and forth to drop it, as long as you're in neutral. And out pops your valve body, just like that. You have one bolt here, it's another T25. Here's the new one. I was just inspecting it to make sure it's exactly the same, and it is. So we're good to go. We're gonna pop this on there. Comes off just like that. If you're not, for literally this component only. This valve body is new. The entire transmission I rebuilt. Last remaining part here. So now you want to throw your shift lever back in, teeth up, and that little slot right there in the center of the screen. Don't forget to put your acclimators back in along with the springs. Alright, let's zip our filter back on with our T25 Torx. I'm going to stick my wiring harnesses back on both sides. We'll start with the driver's side first. Don't forget to pop your little danger pin back in. Now we're going to stick our shift clamp back up on in there. Boom, done, right like that. Ready to throw our pan back on. Don't forget your paper gasket. Ready to torque our bolts down. I always do a star pattern or a cross pattern. Since we have to keep the car on to be able to leave it in neutral, we're going to reset the system by disconnecting the positive lead to the battery. I just want to see if it rolls over, because I wasn't even getting that before. Nope, still not getting anything. So anyone out there trying to do electrical work, I highly recommend grabbing a Power Probe Mach 3. These things are so useful for electrical issues. So in this case, it has been a couple days since I fixed this. I was trying to send power to the starter and it just wouldn't take. The Power Probe just kept resetting over and over. I tried grounding it out, same thing. It kept resetting over and over. So what does it tell me? It tells me there's a wiring issue somewhere within the engine bay itself. So I started feeling around, tracing wires, finally traced it back to here, and this was just a wee bit loose. So I pushed it on and lo and behold, it actually cranked over. Now just to show you that it was a wiring problem, there you have it. Just goes to show that no crank, no starts can be anything. And in this case, it was a loose wire. Thanks for watching.